Yo, what's up? This Rom at you with yet another car video. Rom loves the show. Yeah, check it out. First of all, that self-improvement summit, I just found out it's been sold out. Even overbooked a little bit. It's overflow crowd. Man, I'm loving that. See, one thing people don't know about me, I mean, y'all hear me on the podcast, and you might have heard me on a few panels. And that's different because you're just sitting in your living room, probably in some pajamas or some boxers and shit, just talking whatever you gotta talk, right? And wait, shit. Fuck. Damn, this damn snow. Wait, let me pause it for a second. Yeah, sorry about that, man. I had some snow in my back window. When I came in this morning to the gym, it had been snowing, started snowing a little bit more. But yeah, Rom loves the show, and the self-improvement summit, first annual self-improvement, man, that joint's ready. And people just don't know. See, let me give y'all some background from Rom, right? I love those things, those live events. You know, it's cool doing some online, and I do webinars every month for my private group. Every month I do some, and then I host a lot of people. You know, I've had guys like always mention Master Yao, but I've had Cousin Tito on. BGS did one for me. Alan Roger Curry did one for me. So that's a monthly occurrence. And then some people y'all haven't heard of who just got some outstanding skills, right? But that's just a webinar. But you get the live events, because like I said, I was going to talk about like my past. I remember because I've been doing the relationship stuff since the 90s. I remember I wrote this little pamphlet. It was called Finding a Good Man, and that was for the ladies. And the pamphlet, I didn't even take it seriously. It was just a 12-page thing, just so when I was vending my other books and stuff, I could make like $1 off these women. That's all that was. That was just, it was almost like selling a lottery ticket for me. But it got big apparently, and then there was a public access, DC public access TV show. It's called Loving Happiness. They reached out to me, wanted me to come on their show, and I'll never forget that. It was the first show, and I came in. I never did any type of TV. Yeah, it was public access, but it was more than anything I've done in life. Okay, hold on. It's a little slippery right there. I'll be pulling off slow right here. Just a word of advice, especially for any younger drivers. If it's snow out, don't be like it's like a sunny day in the middle of summer and stuff. All you need is that one piece of ice. Anyway, right? So I went in. I'll never forget that, right? Now, this wasn't like in front of a live audience, but I was like the featured guest. You had the host, and you had 3 sisters right there. And they weren't giving me like that happy to see you, brother look. They looked like they about to tear into me, right? And I'll never forget that because, I was nervous beforehand, right? I was nervous. I remember because I wore a suit for it. And so I'm walking around, and they were late getting started. So I'm walking around the studio. I had on, and I ain't take my suit jacket off. Now, that would seem unusual. Everybody else would take it off. I ain't take it off because my arms were so sweaty. My arms were sweaty. I was like, I said, can you take it off? And I was nervous, didn't know what to expect, anything. Then I went in there, did the show, and it's ironic. Afterwards, I saw the show. I was like, damn, I looked as nervous as I was. I looked all right. And they even said, man, you were cool and calm. We were nervous. Right? And then later on, we started doing panels, and that's really got into just doing live events. I loved it. And like when my book, Nice Guys and Players, came out, that was the main thing I did was live events in front of people. That's when you really saw Rom. I'd be like running rooms and stuff. I'd be, and plus since what I did was technically a writer, I was doing like writers conferences, stuff that didn't really have to do with relationships, but writers conferences, writers panels, stuff like that, man. Trust me, I love that. I love that, and I call it the show, because you get up there, you can't just be up there like, oh, my book's about this and all of that, all technical. Shoot, you gotta have, man, you going in front of a live audience, shoot, you gotta have some charisma, some razzle dazzle. You go up there all dry and stuff, you ain't being held back. You might as well, they be like, man, you just born. And they'll tell you too, you do something from a live audience. Even if they nice about it, you can look in their eyes and tell if they engaged. Like some of my favorites, I remember I did a workshop, it was all women. I was talking, they were just rocking back and forth, rocking. I was like, yeah, I got them. yeah. I mean, I loved it. Like, I would do like a combination of workshops / seminars where I'm actually teaching them something. And then, the panels might be talking about books, and I'll be on there with other people. I remember one writer's workshop. It was a big audience. I had some well-known writers in there too. And I'm sitting there chilling in the chair with the microphone. And afterwards, some of the other writers said, well, we didn't really get a chance to talk. I was like, damn, my bad. But I'm sitting there relaxed. Got the mic in my head doing that thing. I love those things. But, that was just in the 2010. I kind of slowed down because, honestly, I started noticing, especially with the relationship panels, some people didn't want to get into like deeper stuff. They want to keep it very fluffy. Like I remember one of the last ones I did, and we had a radio host, national radio host. I don't know if I feel like calling his name, but he was hosting it and stuff. And he asked the people, the audience, they said, okay, what do y'all want to discuss? Y'all want to discuss romance or sex? Ron was like, sex. And they were like, romance. And I was just like, you know what? I'm starting to notice a lot of times people don't want to actually do any real thing. That's why I actually prefer workshops, because you go in a workshop, you have a specific thing you're talking about, and you can do it and you can interact with people, So I still did that. I got out of the panels. And it was funny, the last panel, I haven't done like a relationship panel, like in front of a big group, since 2015, and that wasn't even like planned. It was a black hair care, natural hair care expo, excuse me, in Baltimore. Like anybody who follow me on IG, y'all can see some pics I had, and if you follow me on Facebook, always have a pics of the ones I did. In fact, though, what had happened at this particular expo, I'm sitting there, I'm just selling some books, so I wasn't like dressed fancy. And this was that type of crowd that got into like particularly black women's natural hair, so it's like mostly women, so I wasn't dressed all fancy, so I had on like just one of those just like a regular shirt. Now I can't think of the word for them now. I always do that, but anyway, it just had a design on it. I had on some jeans, and I just look like just older dude with a little bit of street flavor. And I'm sitting there chilling, just selling my books, making my little bit of money. And they were supposed to have a relationship panel discussion on stage. And I said, oh yeah, because one of my good friends, really good friends, her and her husband were on the panel together. And I said, oh yeah, I can come check you out. And they said, great. And then about an hour later, right before the panel, they said, okay, somebody who was supposed to be here didn't show up. You got to come up, Ron. I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't even nervous. I made sure somebody watched my table. And I get up there, they wearing some African clothing, nice African clothing. You had another dude up there. He got his nice suit. And I'm just up there, in basically just a regular shirt. Damn, I don't know why I can't think of the word for that. I'll think about it as soon as I turn this off, because I wear them all the time. But anyway, right, I'm sitting up there, and that was the last time. Now, ever since then, I still did workshops, and the last workshop I did, where I actually did a presentation, was in September, down in Atlanta. For people who know, I went down to Atlanta. That's why I was there. Well, one of the reasons anyway. And a lot of times people will be surprised. I do maybe about 3 or 4 publicly a year. I just don't announce them on here. I told y'all some stuff I do. I don't even bother telling people, because mainly I prefer to do it for targeted crowds. So, sometimes when you see me in some pictures from San Diego, that's what I was out in San Diego for, always for something like that, right? So, anyway, I just love those things. I just love it because, y'all think car Rom is something. You see Rom, because I started interacting, I can ask you questions, and, just doing those things, you get all types of situations. I remember it was like 2003, I was in Atlanta for a relationship conference. And this just wasn't a bunch of people who just got together. These were PhDs. You had social workers in there, professional therapists. And that's just somebody just doing some video. Now, these were had the degree, everything, therapists. And they got me on a panel, which I didn't know I was supposed to be on. They told me at the last minute. I was like, yeah, sure. And then, oh man, they had Rom set up. They went in on my book. Not me personally, but they went in on my book in the sense of, it was like I was defending a PhD dissertation, because they were questioning it. They were questioning, okay, how'd you do the research for it? It wasn't like, oh yeah, I just knew some people. I had to break down the research methods. Because despite what people think, and I said this a couple times, I learned a lot about sociology and proper research just with my formal education. So it's like I can footnote everything. I can tell you how I learned it. Even the stuff I'm doing in the streets or something, that's just called qualitative research or field research. And, I could put it together in a quantitative report. I was doing that in college. Doing that because a lot of my classes had to deal with field research, and I wasn't even a sociology major, but I had to take 3 sociology classes. So I remember they went in. They were questioning, okay, why is this good? Why is this? How'd you do the research? And at first I was like, damn, they didn't even let me know. But then Professor Rom came out, and one thing, they weren't hiding behind any advertising anything. This was before YouTube. They was the main one, a PhD brother, tall brother, rough brother type who, he'd go to your jaw type of brother, but he was a PhD. He was sitting right next to me, looking me dead in the eye, grilling me. But I always remember that. It was annoying, but at the same time, I enjoyed it. It was both annoying. It was just annoying because they didn't let me know it was coming. But it was fun because I handled it. They even gave me dap afterwards. They publicly, they were like, you know what? All right. We respect that, and, everything. They all of them, one by one afterwards, they came up. They said it on stage. They said, all right. So they got a lot of sales out of that too. Because like I said, these were professionals. But I'm just bringing that up. That was just one of my phones. There's so many, I've done stuff in clubs, stuff for radio in the local DC area. I got Holly. There's a brother who does some stuff in the area. I gotta see if he's getting back into that, But those were just fun. Yes, it can be something setting them up or something. But those were and that was just when I'm at my best. Like I said, because if you doing anybody's done any live stuff, I don't care how supportive the people in general, there's always somebody who got a question. So you can get anything, and it's you can't be on some Ray curse them out or something. You gotta be calm, everything. But I love that, man. I love the show, and the reason why I call it the show, because it is. Like I said, you can't be going up there well, here's the thing about it and everything. Shit. You gotta be serious, but then crack some jokes, keep it moving. You almost gotta be a preacher, because you gotta keep them entertained. Because the worst thing to happen if you're in front of a group of people and their eyes start glazing over, you might as well be whatever. Because that's one thing, public speaking. People don't realize how much I can even get into that. So, for people who want to come to that self-improvement thing, shoot, y'all gonna see something. I don't even know what I'm gonna talk about yet. Shit, that's usually a lot of stuff, but, I said, I'm so used to, people hit me at the last minute with stuff, shit. But now I have everything ready. And yeah, but I love that, man. I'm gonna tell you what. Like I said, I still do workshops. I might get into I might increase the number or something, because I got enough connections, like just to sponsor my own. Like this one's put together by C Boogie. This is C Boogie production, but I might get back into like putting together some. I used to put together a lot of them in the early 2000s, like my own and stuff. So anyway, yeah, Rom loves the show. This is, man, I'm feeling good about this. And for everybody who signed up for that self-improvement summit, man, look forward to seeing y'all there, man. We're gonna chop it up, have a good time. All right, we're gonna have a good time. Y'all gonna walk out of there empowered, for real. All right. So anyway, that's it for today. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.